I think having good line mates right now. We're all really working well off each other, and Bruiser was able to find me today, and just trying to shoot that one hard, and luckily it went in.
That assist from Nick was just incredible. Can you talk about the development of your guys' chemistry on that line and where you think you're at right now?
I think we're in a really good spot, and I think it starts with Shazi. He's very vocal, talks through the plays, and I think that's gotten me and Bruiser to talk through a lot more stuff, and that way we've become a lot more comfortable with each other and knowing where we're at in spots just because we're communicating more.
In terms of leadership qualities and stuff off the ice, like how much have you learned from Logan Shaw so far this season?
Yeah, you see he's an experienced guy. You see the way he carries himself, the way he controls like our bench, our team, all those things, and it's good energy to feed off of, and it's great to have him in the locker room.
With you guys losing your leading goal scorer in the big trade with St. Louis, do you feel that this is an opportunity for you to really take over that kind of top offensive output spot on the team?
I don't necessarily need a top offensive output position. I think anybody on our team is capable of scoring, and we got a lot of good offensive players. So I think at times when guys are rolling and feeling it, I think we ride the hot hand kind of thing. But I think everybody's capable of taking that spot and taking the onus on themselves to contribute offensively.
What are your thoughts on Keith Petruzzelli's play lately, especially with Wallen Shalgren up with the Leafs?
He's been great. He filled in beautifully today. He made some great saves. Guy stretches across the crease unbelievably, and you just are in awe of some of the saves he's making because you think that one's going in, and then he comes out of nowhere. So it's fun to watch, and it's nice to have him back there.
How would you define the way Max Ellis fills in with your team?
He's great. He adds speed. He's got good character, and I think the guys like having him on the bench anytime he's out there. He's very positive, and I think he moves the puck well and then just finds those pockets, and luckily it's been going in for him.
Can you describe the chemistry on that top line and where you think you guys are at right now?
Yeah, I think we're playing pretty well. I think it's taken a couple games to kind of get used to each other, but no, I think we're clicking. I think it's a good mix of some different players, and we're doing a good job of transporting the game and creating offense.
What stands out about this power play unit on this team?
I think just like a lot of really good players who can make plays really, and I think everyone kind of knows where everyone's at, and I think we've done a good job of establishing what our game plan is and being able to come through on that game plan.
What have you learned as a rookie from someone like Logan Shaw, not only just as a player on your line, but in the room as well?
Yeah, I don't want to pump his tires too much, but yeah, I think it's great having someone like him around and being able to kind of just be a sponge and take little things from him. I think the biggest thing is just how every day he's such a professional. He comes to the rink with a great attitude and is always trying to help the team win. And I think there's a lot of things I can mention, but I think it's just good to have him in the room, not only for myself, but I think everyone else.
In this last stretch of this season, are there any aspects of your game personally that you're looking to improve on?
I don't think there's anything specifically, just everywhere, just trying to get ready for what's to come in April, hopefully. So I think it's just kind of cleaning up all the details and making sure that I'm responsible at my own end, and then hopefully create an offense to go with that.
This was win number 100 for Greg Moore with the Marlies, and I know that you played for him with another team as well. What have you seen in terms of growth for him as a head coach?
I think he's obviously it's different coaching junior players versus pros, so I think he's kind of matured in that aspect in terms of the relationships you build with the players at each level, and I think he's done a really good job this year of just kind of creating the culture and establishing what our game is and what we need to do to be successful, and I think holding everyone accountable to that. I think he's done a really good job of that, and I think there's a lot more wins to come from him.
As we get closer to the playoffs, have you seen the games tighten up and really turn into that almost playoff-like type of game?
Definitely. I think just as the season goes on, teams get better naturally. You know, you come in and start the year playing with new guys sometimes. So I just think naturally every team is getting better as the season goes on. So that in and of itself is going to tighten the game up. And then obviously now we're in the stretch run where everyone's fighting for points. You know, we've done a good job up to this point of finding a way to obviously put ourselves in a really good position to make the playoffs. But obviously there's a lot of other teams that are really desperate and fighting for points to get in. So we understand that. We got to make sure that we're coming to the rink every day, understanding that, and we're bringing the desperation level as well. We can't fall into a little bit of a trap just because, we've built a little bit of a lead. We got to continue to push the envelope and get better every day.
Your 100th win with the Marlies, a pretty big milestone. Can you describe just your growth as a head coach from coaching junior players to where you're at now?
Certainly, it's been a long road since I've been here. I'd only been a head coach for a year and a half prior to having the honor to step into this organization and coach with the Marlies. There's been a lot of growth, to be honest with you. Just in building relationships with these men, learning structurally, style of play and what it takes to win at this level. And just everything that kind of is encompassing with the position. So, it's a milestone. I'm nothing without the players and our support staff and our coaching staff that's they're pushing me and challenging me every day and helping support me. So as good as it feels, it's hard to make it about me, as there's a lot of people that go into this that are involved to get us into these situations.
This specific game, the 3-1 win against Utica, you guys finally beat them by more than one goal, but that brings it to 5-0 against this team. How big of a win is this against a divisional rival when you know that they're all fighting for a spot in the standings?
It's massive right now. The standings are really tight in our division. Obviously, where we're placed right now, there's a bullseye on our back every time these teams play us. They're all trying to climb and get into playoffs, as are we, to ensure our position. I was really proud of the team today. First period, you could say, was a little bit back and forth. Early in the second, there were a few things that you could tell our players knew we had to do a little bit better, especially when we were changing, managing the puck. But as soon as Logan Shaw's line changed in the O-zone, set up the guys behind him, and then Stoner had a good line change in the O-zone that set up Ellis's goal, that kind of shifted the whole momentum, and we got back to shorter shifts and changing at the right time and doing things to set up the guy behind you.
Speaking of that top line, I spoke with both Bobby and Nick just a few minutes ago, and they said that they're really confident in where they're at, and it's taken them a few games, to get that chemistry built. Where do you feel that th're at?
The line's playing really well. I think all those guys are feeling confident individually as well, not only just as a line. We're going to need to lean on them, much like a lot of guys, but they're matched up against the top lines of other teams most given nights, and then still finding ways to produce offensively. They've been really impressive, so that was a really strong line for us today.
When we talk about Max Ellis and players stepping up to fill the roles that were left by losing two players, are you impressed with his level of play and the minutes that he's had on that third line?
Yeah, he's done a great job stepping into situations that he may not have been getting earlier in the year, and his development has come a long ways, and a lot of it's just on him. He's committed, he's working really hard, he's doing a really good job inside of contact and getting off the wall and the breakout better, was something we were talking about earlier in the season, and now it's just taking him time to learn our structure, how to be a responsible player in pro hockey, and he's done it. He's doing a great job.
How would you define maybe the ability for Marshall Rafai to move the puck up the ice?
Good. He's very elusive. He skates really well. He's got good puck skills. So I think all of our D have done a great job this year at transitioning the game, and no different than our forwards at D. There's always times when the group up front or in the back end there have hiccups or need to do things better. But I think as a whole, especially Marshall, done a great job with their puck play.